All right, everyone, good afternoon. Welcome back, to another series of events. This week, we are on week number 5, Blockchain Developer Week. What is Blockchain Developer Week? It is part of a larger series of events called Malaysia Blockchain Month, brought to you by Access Blockchain Association of Malaysia, along with its many media partners, including Bitcoin Malaysia, Blockline, TalkChain, Eve KL, Grenade, App Media, DeFi Singapore, and Imperium Universe. How does it work? Every single day, we bring you new educational content, daily sessions. Okay, every single week, it is a different theme. On the first week, Malaysia. On second week, we talked everything about DeFi. Week number 3, NFTs. Week number 4, enterprise blockchain. Week number 5, we are now in week number 5. Okay, the goal here is to train up our developers. And we're going to end Malaysia Blockchain Month with week number 6 with a 2-day conference called Ignite. Why are we doing this 6 weeks of events is because as an association, part of our mission is to grow the industry. What kind of industry are we talking about? We're talking about an industry that we have digital assets that live on the internet secured by these decentralized networks called blockchains. Combine all these digital assets, something very interesting happened. This year we hit 1 trillion milestone for the first time ever. It took 12 years to get to this point. And guess what? 9 months later, we already doubled. That's how fast the industry is growing. So the question that you should ask yourself is, how can you capture the opportunities that are available in this industry? That is why this particular week, we are turning our attention to train up, blockchain developers in the industry. And we have an entire series, of events starting this morning with the Magic Blockchain Bootcamp that runs across the 2 days and will continue tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, we're having the Ethereum Bootcamp, which is divided into 3 sessions and is going to be run by our friend Harif Kamaru from Eve KL. The 2:30 session is going to teach you, about Solidity for beginners. How do you begin? Then we have an afternoon session with Nicholas Chin from Etherscan that's going to show you how to interact directly with smart contracts using Etherscan. And then in the evening at 8 p.m., how to read smart contracts for beginners and non-coders. On Wednesday, it's everything to do, with Binance Smart Chain. There's going to be a boot camp, at 2:30 p.m., along with another session, with how to use the Binance Smart Chain Explorer. On Thursday, we're having Huobi EcoChain called HecoChain. There will be a boot camp for that. And then in the evening, we are inviting back Consensus Quorum. Then last but not least, on Friday, we're ending, with 2 more boot camps with Antchain and Tezos. Now, what is the mindset, that we're trying to achieve here from Blockchain Developer Week? Is basically you enter this week with as many options as possible. You see what is available, right? And then you can then create your own strategy. How do you want to build, your career in this industry? That is the tension and the mindset going into Blockchain Developer Week. This week, we're here on day number 1 in the afternoon, and we're going to take it easy. We're going to learn about a particular blockchain that is very popular here in Southeast Asia. And we have one very special guest. He's an OG in the blockchain industry. He has been around even longer than myself. His name is Simon Pang, aka BitRocker 2020. Seen here waving the Malaysian flag. If you have seen our community, right? Simon, thank you so much. For being with us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here.
So Simon, very quickly, can you give an introduction to yourself to those who do not know you, and how did you come into know about this blockchain called Hive?
Okay. Well, basically, I am an entrepreneur since 2011. Prior to that, I've been doing a lot of different things in the corporate world. My entrepreneurship journey brought me through a lot of things, discovery of different types of services, but mostly done online. And I also help Google business groups. It's a community around Google that we help get businesses to use and to adopt digital technologies for their businesses. How I got into the blockchain and everything was because I was actually providing services, online services and all that, web services, web designs and all that. One day I got a message from one of the freelancer board, or I think it was Reddit, if I'm not mistaken, where they asked me, says, hey, do you accept Bitcoin as a payment instead? Right. So, I mean, that's how I actually got into the space. Because I quickly Googled up and tried to find out what is Bitcoin. And I started going and research more and more and more. And then I said, yeah, sure, I'll accept whatever payment that you give me at that time. And it started from there. And blockchain has actually, the space itself has has basically blown up immensely. And there's so many more things that you see now compared to, just a few years ago, which is 2016, 2015 kind of thing. Yeah.
I believe I met you for the first time in 2018, but you've been in this space much longer. When was this, okay, that you started to come into, say, for example, the Hive blockchain, whatnot?
Okay, so Hive blockchain came about was somebody. No, I was actually Googling. I was Googling up social media rewarded by blockchain, something like that. All right, and there were not a lot of articles or a lot of things on the net you can find about this thing. Then I came out across this line. I think it was a post from Dan Larimer. I think it was in Bitcoin Talk, if I'm not mistaken. And
the legendary Dan Larimer.
Yeah. So the legendary, the guy who made billions. So got into it, started researching more about it. Really liked what I saw, because at that time, all blockchain is perceived that blockchain is only for techies. Right. It's purely for techies. And I wanted something that was easier to understand, very relatable. So who doesn't use social media and all that? And that was quite an easy way to talk to people about blockchain and crypto. All right. So that
was 2016.
2016. That's around 2016. Yeah. So it's been a great journey. I managed to get a community together, because when you talk about social media and blockchain rewards on social media, it's basically built around a community. So that's how we actually grew. Team Malaysia itself, we have quite a good variety of social bloggers, and it's very diversified. It's not only techies. We have artists, musicians, the average Joe like you and me, anyone and everyone basically is on this blockchain. So it's been a great journey. Yeah.
Cool. We're excited to learn more. Okay, can you share with us a little bit more about the Hive blockchain in particular, and then we'll go into what people have been building on the blockchain.
Okay. Let me just share my tab. Give me a second.
About 2016.
2016. Yeah.
That was
in crypto years, that sounds very long.
In crypto years.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go through the slides very, very fast. Okay. So blockchain, it get rewarded in crypto. So basically, Hive is about creating content, and it's not putting in money and then waiting for some interest to bearing kind of thing and all that. It's basically creating content, and the blockchain is validates your content by other users or other bloggers, and then you get rewarded in crypto. So we as Malaysians, we love sharing our food pics, right? Every dish that we come when pre-COVID, I guess, pre-COVID, every dish that we see, we'll take a photo. But the question is that why don't we share it on a blockchain? On a blockchain and actually get rewarded for it. This has been done since the inception of Steam, and that was the whole idea of Steam, is to share content. So, of course, in this case, this lady here, she's a great and pretty awesome chef, which I met in one of the events, and she just posts all the pictures of her cooking on the blockchain. In this case, at that time, was called Steemit, right? And we also love to travel. Pre-COVID, we could travel everywhere. If we had put all our photos on the blockchain, we would just go through our blogs and see everything, the photos and the content of the blogs and all that. It's basically on the blockchain forever, all right? And you won't actually lose it. So, sometimes when you take photos and everything, you put in your phone, you lose your phone, or you format your phone, it's gone. But you put it on the blockchain, it stays there forever. And why not get rewarded while doing that as well, all right? We also like taking movies or making videos, especially with the new iPhone 13 coming out. You can do the cinematic thing, so create videos and all that. So why don't also put that on the blockchain and get it validated and get rewarded for it? All right. So these are ways that blockchain and specifically Hive and Steemit or more social media content. Most social media blockchain, decentralized social media on the blockchain is able to get this kind of things done, right? So want to introduce to you specifically Hive is because we are very familiar with Hive, and I know quite ins and outs about Hive. There are, of course, many types of blockchains that can actually do the same thing. All right, so current social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and all that, those are all heavily centralized. There's censorship, okay, and there's basically no incentive. But unless you are an influencer, then you get, some cash flow from sponsors and all that. But putting on a blockchain, it's basically decentralized. So like what I'm showing here on the screen, there are quite a number of already decentralized social media out there. All right. Of course, Hive is something that we've been talking about. Steemit, it's similar to Hive. If you Google it up, then you'll be able to see the controversial that happened between Steemit and Hive, why it got hard fork. Then we have our local superhero, Torum. They are creating something similar, specifically focused on crypto communities. Then we have Scorum. Scorum is more towards sports. If you like to write about sports and like to talk about it, so Scorum is one good place to actually create content and post it up and get rewarded for it. Epix is more or less like this Instagram thingy, post in and all that. It's fun because Epix, I met the founder before, and the founders are actually a group of models and influencers, and they created Epix specifically for them to use. Then we have DLive, those people who are on YouTube and knows PewDiePie. I remember PewDiePie did a contract with DLive, and he was streaming exclusively there for a while. I think now it's gone already. DTube is like what I was showing to you. Is something that you can easily just create your video, post it in on the blockchain, and it integrates both with Hive and Steemit. So the great thing about things like DTube is that it's on blockchain. It is on an Avalon blockchain, but it also integrates with Hive and Steemit. So if you post one video on DTube, you get rewarded DTC tokens, you get rewarded with Hive tokens, and you get rewarded with Steem tokens. So basically, it's 3 rewards for one post, for one content. So these are incentives that people are able to create, and you do not have to be an influencer or someone with millions of followers and all that to post to get rewarded. Even if you just have like 10 people following you or 20 people following you, it's great enough as well. Then we have other things like Teta.tv and Sent. Now I tell you what, the list of this kind of social media is coming up is huge. is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every other day. I think EOS also come up their own. So question is that what are these blockchains only for creating content? When you say content, what kind of content? There are a lot of questions about this, but the thing is that because it's decentralized and it is governed by the community for the community, there is actually no the censorship itself or the validation itself is by the community itself, right? So if somebody who doesn't like your content, instead of giving you a like, or in this case we call it an upvote, they will just give you a downvote. And your rewards will be reflected based on the number of upvotes or the downvotes. That's how the reward system works. Basically, that's how it goes. Now, other things that people can actually do on this blockchain is not only for that, but we have spin-offs. So there are a few developers who leverage on the Hive community and created this thing called Splinterland. Previously was called Steam Monsters, then it converged and it became Splinterland. And Splinterland is the number one blockchain game on DappRadar right now. And with all this hype of this thing called the NFTs and all that, so Splinterland already was doing this NFT thing because they were issuing cards, playing cards. And look at the price of if you look at the price of the cards, and you have cards which are selling for like $50,000, and you have cards at 28,000, 4,007. These are all in US dollars. And so it's a community, and it's something that has already been going on. Of course, the hype and the momentum right now is very high because, buying or selling a cyberpunk NFT itself is like, how many millions of dollars and all that. But it all starts with getting to know about the blockchain and starts developing on top of it. And of course, it spins off to many and many other options and all that. And yes, Splinterland, the guy who is the founder of the Splinterland itself, started off by rewarding users on the Hive and the Steam blockchain for those who are just go on playing it. So they leverage on community. So one of the important things in when you're actually developing something or getting involved in this blockchains and all that is actually creating a community within that circle itself. Look at the games like Axie Infinity. It wouldn't have been so popular, or it would not have really gone up like crazy if there wasn't a community around it. The price shot up and everything is purely because you think that that avatar is more expensive than this avatar. So that's where the price starts bidding up higher and higher and higher. And the opportunities are quite endless. So coming back to Hive, so what is Hive? It is not a decentralized blogging platform. It is not only Hive.blog. There are so many applications which has been built to access to the blockchain. Why is this so? Is because there is quite a comprehensive API. Well, put it this way: if you know Java, if you know Python, you can easily create an application that connects back to the Hive blockchain, and basically you have your own app. So that makes it easy and simple to use, simple to develop as well. All right. So in a quick nutshell, this is how Hive actually looks like. If you were to see it, this is just a post, and the rewards are just here, and more posts. And you can see that Hive.blog or the people who create content on Hive is not only techies. It's not only techies. It can be anyone and everyone, any type of content, as long as you have a community who enjoys reading that type of content. It could be your own personal blog, which you do on a daily basis kind of thing. I know some Malaysians who actually post on Hive every single day when they are on the train going to work, and they'll put a photo up, and they will just share the thoughts of the day. Or today is going to rain, Do you enjoy reading those kind of things? Do I enjoy reading those kind? Maybe it's not my cup of tea, but he just wants to keep a blog. It's like something like a personal blog of his day on the blockchain. And of course, he gets rewarded for it as people upvote it and all that. right? So yeah, so there are many things that can be done on the Hive blockchain, and the whole idea is when you post, you don't only just create the content, but you can also get rewarded by curating content. Meaning to say that if Jason writes a post and he likes it, I upvote the post. Not only he gets rewarded, I, as the curator, also get rewarded. So it's a win-win situation for me to actually go through posts and to give it an upvote. All right, and it works both ways, right? So yeah, so integration. There are integration with things with already known applications like WordPress. So if you have a WordPress blog, you can just write it on your WordPress blog, and when you click post, it will post on your own blogs. You will also get a copy on the Hive blockchain. There's so many things that can actually be done. All right. Again, YouTube, the decentralized YouTube, which is DTube, things like that can happen, and yeah, so it's many ways lah. Let's see. Let's go on faster here. Traveling blog. This is also on the Hive blockchain. As you can see, that the interface looks different. So, like what I say, as long as you are able to do Java, do some front web, Python, and all that, and you can actually create something really awesome. All right. So these are things that in. Yeah. So community wise, for the Hive blockchain, it's pretty huge. From what I remembered, with the last known amount of accounts registered, it's about over 1 million, and it is based on a community of very diverse. Yeah, it's a very diverse community of different type of people from everywhere around the world. So yeah, if you haven't started, just get on Hive, hive.blog.
All right. I have a lot of questions. Okay. I don't know where to begin really. I suppose the first question that I'd like to ask is you've shared with us, okay, that so many things have been built, okay, on the Hive blockchain. Like for example, these interfaces like DTube, DLive interacts with it, right? How is it different compared to building, say, on a on the Ethereum blockchain? How is it different? Okay, what in Ethereum we have Solidity. People need to learn Solidity, which they would learn about it tomorrow in tomorrow's bootcamp. But if people want to build on Hive, are there smart contracts on Hive?
Okay, for smart contracts, the only things which are available for smart contracts is someone created something like a layer 2. They call it the Hive engine.
Okay.
So with this thing called the Hive engine, that enables smart contract on the Hive blockchain. At this current point of time, Hive itself, the blockchain itself, it does not really support smart contracts. However, yeah, it's using a layer 2 at this point of time. So that's why Splinterland was one of the first to actually use the smart contracts using the Hive engine to interact back to the blockchain.
So I want to bring another thing up, which is that when I first got to know about the Hive blockchain, right, back in 2018. One of the things that really interested me, okay, was how you built the community, which was through a Discord channel. But you had people to basically build something which allowed the coordination, okay, of rewards to be shared. Can you share with the audience what do you build?
Okay, so one of the things that we did was that, as you know, when you create a content and let's say you're new, and when you first post it in, right, basically your rewards would be close to zero or zero, right? So what we did as a community is that we got a number of support. We created this little bot where we integrate together with Discord. And I think if you just write a few codes of Python, you'll be able to get it done. Then what happens is that when you write the post, you create the post already, all you have to do is copy the link of your post and you put it into the so-called bot in Discord itself. There's a special channel which the bot monitors. And what happens is that automatically, if that is your first and only post of the day, that post will be supported by a lot of upvotes. And the upvotes is not only by one person, the upvotes is by a whole list of people, which is, I think, about 400 people that actually is inside the curation trail. We call it a curation trail. So if one person vote, everybody just follow through. All right. And that itself, because I think in 2017 was the bull run, the previous bull run, right? One post, the rewards itself, if you calculate back to Malaysian ringgit, it was close to what, 2,000 over ringgit, if you were to calculate around it for one post. And it was quite high. But of course, a lot of people, they did not look at it as in that way. Most of them just held the steam, and they wanted to stake more and more and more and more. So of course their account became bigger and bigger and bigger. And so the whole integration was from Discord itself. You can just post your link, and it will just check if it will only vote you once a day. Right, once a day for your one post. So if you start spamming like 20, 30, 40, 50 different posts, you will not vote. It will only give you your first vote for one day. Yeah, right. That is for a fair distribution for everyone. Yeah.
Right. For those, who are listening in and you're not familiar about, the Hive mechanism, right? There's one very unique thing, about Hive, which is that what actually incentivizes people to continue to use Hive is that when you get rewarded with Hive, if you choose to hold your Hive and stake them, then your likes would become more valuable, because when you like somebody else's posts, right, are actually helping them to earn more Hive rewards.
Yeah.
So what Simon was describing, was in order to coordinate and to coordinate at scale, right? They built a curation bot, which basically, firstly, pulls together people who says that, I have a lot of Hive, and I have a lot of I have a lot of what they call Hive power. And but I want to support communities. So then Simon, you came up with the idea that says that, I'm building a community here in Malaysia. You support me. This bot basically, then every time, that somebody joins Team Malaysia, right, and then you support them with a like, that bot basically likes on behalf of all the people part of that curation trail.
Yeah. So we became your first. We become your first fan on the blockchain.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Now, this I want to do a quick shout out. Who built this?
Oh, that bot was built by an amazing developer, Superu. We know him as Superu, but his actual name is Johnson. I think now he works with CoinGecko. Yeah, now he's working with CoinGecko, building amazing stuff on CoinGecko. But he actually helped us build it, and it was quite pretty amazing thing that he did for us.
So, can you give a couple more examples? So you've given one example, of what you personally built, for the community, and that's how you grew the Hive community in Malaysia. Then there are other, things that people are building, which is, I think, along the lines of better UI. Am I correct? Basically,
yes.
Better user experience.
Yeah. So Hive blockchain is just a blockchain. You can create any type of apps which interacts with the blockchain. So one of the apps, a web app that has been created is actually PeakD. It's a more nicer look and feel of how to access your blogs. So these developers, they created based on the Hive. Why it was easy for them to create was because the APIs, the API documentation on Hive has been pretty well established, and it's very easy to actually do that. So if you know your front end, so basically, let me just quickly share the API documents. Give me a second.
this is your account on PickD. You just watched yesterday the movie on Netflix.
Yes.
And okay, this is a little bit off topic here, but the Hive blockchain paid you $15 to enjoy your movie. Right.
Yes.
Okay. You've also been able to okay. All
You're
right.
making me
Sorry.
shy, Lord.
Documentation.
Yeah. So documentation. The Hive developers, developers.hive.io. Yeah, you're able to see a quite complete list on what call it, of the libraries are all there. It's pretty much a very well documented API. I mean, from my point of view, lah. If you go to the Discord itself, there is a whole developers community which builds around Hive as well. Of course, there are a lot of new integration. I mean, with so many kind of blockchains coming up, like the Binance Smart Chain, and things like Polygon and all that. So there are integration and bridging towards that as well. One of the good apps which one of the developers which have built on top of Hive is these guys, Leo Finance. This is also powered by the Hive blockchain. However, the difference is that they focus a lot more on crypto blogging, but they have created their own currency called Leo. And Leo is integrated with Leo is integrated with Binance Smart Chain. It has a bridge to Binance Smart Chain, and you are able to also stake your reward tokens and get rewarded in various kind of farms, yield farming kind of thing. So when you post on Leo Finance, you are also posting on the Hive blockchain. So the rewards come in multiple places, only if you see it or if you know how to actually work around it. But it is pretty much integrated. For me, I call it a good integration, where there are a lot of ways of doing it. So you don't need to stick to only one rewards. You can get rewarded multiple times based on that one content that you create. Not only that, you also get to access to various communities. Leo Finance has its own community. Then they have this other thing called the Cup Finance, another community. Then you have your Steam, which is another community, and it starts growing from there, right? So with this technology, as long as you are able to create a bridge between blockchains itself, the possibilities are quite endless, lah.
The possibilities is quite endless. I mean, like just only a year ago, interoperability was just a dream. It was just a dream. Okay.
Yes, it was.
What's that? We saw DeFi Summer and a lot of things. Okay, it's just very nice. Okay, to see that this is already starting to take shape. Already, we're already seeing. Okay, that different networks are able to communicate with each other, which is like But let's come back, okay, with other things, okay, that people are developing. Do you know, in the case of the game, Splinterland, okay, when they built it on the Hive blockchain, was it something that was off chain? Okay, the game itself, was it off chain, and then it was just they used the Hive, okay, platform as a community building thing, or did they actually build it on Hive?
Yes, it was built as it was off chain, which then integrates the reward system and everything was then integrated back to Hive. Yeah, as and when you play the game, because at that time, I think even now, because put it this way, if you were to run a full game purely on the blockchain, that will need a crazy TPS. For the blockchain, right? Look at what happened to Hello Kitties. No, not Hello Kitties. Was it Hello Kitties? No. CryptoKitties, sorry. CryptoKitties. Look at what happened to CryptoKitties. CryptoKitties was literally one of the first games that was purely a big hype on the blockchain. And look at what happened to the Ethereum network at that time. It just went to a crawl. And basically you can't get anything done on that. And that was purely because of CryptoKitties, right? So with all these things, the layer twos and things like that coming out, we can see way much more uh, fancy stuff that'll be coming out. I mean, I'm following a few upcoming games, which is going to be running using the blockchain as the reward system, or using it as a form of transaction as well. So yeah, I think within the next 1-2 years, we'll see a big boom in this industry with games, with
Right.
really good games. Yeah.
So in terms of developing, okay, games on the blockchain, what you're saying is that the gaming experience, okay, in itself, it's not probably not useful or even necessary to you to use the blockchain, because
Mhm.
the only time we actually need the blockchain is provenance, okay, to prove, okay, that we own this particular NFT or this particular game item or character, or settlement, okay, which is basically coming to a trade, okay, you know uh and have that secured on a blockchain. But the
Mhm.
gaming in itself, the gameplay in itself, does not necessarily need to be on the chain. Got it.
Yep. Yeah. So for example, the usage of NFTs. I mean, if you play games like World of Warcraft, imagine if Blizzard suddenly announced that we are going to NFT all our legendary weapons.
Wow.
Yeah. So even though the point of transaction will be on the blockchain, but the whole game itself does not, the mechanics of the game itself do not need to be on the blockchain. So, because I mean, when you're playing games, imagine playing Fortnite on the blockchain. So exactly, we like before anything happens, right? So those kind of games, I mean, a lot of games are very latency sensitive. People like it fast. The minute you have a waiting time of even 5 seconds for
Yep.
a movement or something to happen, it's going to be like people will just easily just drop it and forget about it. Yeah, so there are a lot of things we will see with layer two and all that coming out. We will start to see a lot of this kind of integration coming in, and I'm quite excited to see all the possibilities and all the fancy stuff that's going to coming out. Yeah.
Okay, so another thing, okay, about on the Hive blockchain, right? Okay, is that currently where does all the conversation happen? If people want to learn more, can you share again, okay, the developer portal just now?
Okay. Developer portal.
How do people get started? Where do they get it?
Developer portal is on developers. You mean this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So developer portal. Yeah. So developers.hive.io. You can see all the API, the list. There are even tutorials down here. So all you need is JavaScript, Python, and Ruby, or Ruby. Either one of these three, it can work. So I think a lot of developers here are already quite familiar with JavaScript. And yeah, basically you can do a full integration. How to connect with Hive Signer? Hive Signer is your validation for login. Yeah, your logins to the blockchain itself. It will tell you what's been done. There are a lot of things that can be done from there itself. I'm not a developer myself, so however, I mean, by reading it, I mean, looking at JavaScript itself, it's pretty straightforward. Uh, just have to be creative on how you actually approach it. Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to welcome, okay, the audience, okay, to ask any questions. Okay, now is your opportunity to ask Simon, okay, about the Hive blockchain. Simon, what do you think, okay, about the Hive blockchain, okay, in the next 6 months to a year?
What I think, 6 months to a year, I think the community will always be there. It will keep on growing. Let's not talk about price or of the crypto itself, but you look at the growth of the community itself. Development is consistently happening. They are trying to go towards the path where uh, we call it. I previously was called as Steam Media Token SMT, where you're able to create from Hive itself, able to create multiple different type of coins or tokens. But I mean, those are all developers which are still actually building on it. where do I see it? I see that the community will just continue to grow. Even though during the bearish market, the community was still growing.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the price, but people are still posting. People like the community. People who are within the community itself are basically friends. I mean, during the Steam Fest, the one that we went to in let's say Lisbon or
I
in
miss
Thailand, in
traveling
Bangkok,
so
right?
much. I
Yeah.
miss traveling so much. I mean, like that's how I remember the Hive community really,
Mhm.
which is basically all the outings, okay, all the steamboat, okay, that we were able to go, right? Um,
But you'll be
one last,
surprised that, most of the communities we only know each other. I mean, we know each other by our username and not by
yes,
our actual name, right? So I mean,
yeah.
that's a great community to be with. Yeah,
What's that? You are known as BitRocker 2020. I'm known as Buzz Lightyear. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
When we go to these meetups as well, it's like, hey Buzz, hey BitRocker. Yeah, yeah. Okay, one last question. Okay,
Mm.
this is for all those developers listening out there. If there's one thing, okay, that you wish is to be developed right now on the Hive blockchain, what would that be?
Um, an actual proper mobile app.
An actual proper mobile app. The mobile experience, okay, still needs,
Yeah,
okay, to improve.
there there used to be one. There was this guy. Remember there's this app called Particle. Particle.
Yes, particle.
Particle. The developer was from Airbnb. Yes, he was the engineer for Airbnb. He came on the Hive blockchain. He developed Particle. So Particle, uh, so far to date, that was my favorite app. That was because the fluidity and the speed, everything was just flawless with Particle. You can easily use it and all that. But I think he kind of put on hold further development, and as the blockchain started to fork and change, he never updated anything, so it kind of like died off. So yeah, I'm still actually looking for a really solid mobile version of interface that can interact with the Hive blockchain. And not only me, I guess a lot of the people or the users, which are actually looking for it. The ones that
Oh,
is available right now has a latency. It's not fast. That's the biggest problem. Yeah.
okay. So with that, okay, Simon, thank you so much, okay, for
Thanks for having me.
spending, okay, day one today. That concludes day number one, okay, of Blockchain Developer Week. That was light and easy, right? What comes next tomorrow, however, is a lot. Okay, we are starting with the Ethereum boot camps. Be back here tomorrow at 2:30. Okay, because we have OGs Dave Appleton, Etherscan's Nicholas Chin in the afternoon, and Harif Kamaru. Okay, at 8 p.m. at night. Okay, to talk about smart contracts on Ethereum. See you guys. Bye.